story appears ordinary till you see the core side of it.
And what you're looking for is the story behind the news.
We bring it to you from Lagos, the commercial capital of Nigeria.
Giving you all sides and political stories round the clock.
Every detail from the start line to the final whistle.
CoreTV News, expanding your view.
Hello there, welcome to CoreTV News at 7. I am Gift Ogete. After 2 days of disquiet, the National Conference has ended without rancor. Delegates unanimously adopted the resolution of the conference after the title of the final document was changed from Draft Constitution to Draft Amendment to 1999 Constitution. The conference ended on a peaceful note afterwards, as votes and proceedings were also adopted. The resolution is to be submitted to President Goodluck Jonathan on August 21st. Northern delegates to the National Conference say they have achieved their aim of protecting the interest of Northern Nigeria. The delegates had few days ago raised allegations over plans to elongate President Goodluck Jonathan's tenure. But speaking at a press briefing after the final report was adopted, they maintained that they succeeded in getting the conference to drop draft constitution from the final report.
All we wanted was remove the title draft constitution, submit it and keep to what we did, which was proposed amendments.
By the grace of Allah and the consultation and through the wisdom of our leaders here, there were always ways out for us. So we thank the conference management, the team, for listening to us. At least at the end of the day, today is a very successful end. For the North, we cannot compromise the unity of the North. I'm very happy that at least for this conference we have seen that we can work together. We have no way out but to work very closely to ensure that the interest of the North is always protected.
The All Progressives Congress has accused the Department of State Services of partisanship and unprofessional conduct over its actions and comments on the recent election in Osun State. The party's National Publicity Secretary Lai Mohammed said the DSS spokesperson, Marilyn Oga, should be properly trained and given the necessary exposure so she can speak with knowledge and facts instead of making baseless and incautious statements. APC said by spearheading the mass arrest of its leaders and members in Osun before and during the governorship election in the state, and by preventing the rally planned by the NOC in support of Governor Aregbesola from holding, the DSS has decided to pitch its 10th with the PDP instead of staying neutral. Described as a tissue of lies, the allegation by Oga that the party tried to bribe the DSS with 14 million naira before the Osun election. Wondering why the DSS did not arrest the official who offered the alleged bribe, APC said it is important to educate the likes of Oga and indeed the entire DSS that election is not war but a celebration of democracy. Hence, DSS agents should drop their hoods and hide away from menacing guns when next they are posted to police an election anywhere in the country. Osun State Governor Ralph Aregbesola has commended the continued detention the continued detention of members of the All Progressives Congress arrest by security agents in the period leading to the August 9 governorship election in the state, which he won. He also warned staff of the Independent National Electoral Commission against tampering with electoral materials used in the election, which he says will be detrimental to him before the tribunal.
The last minute have been heard of the alleged clampdown on members of the All Progressives Congress by security agencies prior to and during the August 9th governorship election. Osun State Governor and winner of the election, Ralph Aregbesola, says the continued detention of APC stalwarts is unacceptable, citing the case of Rotimi Fafora, who represents Elisha West local government area in the State House of Assembly.
Fafora, representing Elisha West, for no crime at all. His crime was that he belonged to this party, or he belongs to this party, and represents this party in the House of Assembly for this state. And for that, he was beaten to a state of pulp and taken to the, he was moved around, ultimately deposited in one dungeon. He's still there.
Aregbesola says the detention is unfair on his members, wondering why they are still in detention, condemning what he said they are going through.
The law of Nigeria says even if you have committed an offense, you should be charged to court within 24 hours. Let's assume it's impossible to have a court between Saturday and Sunday. Yesterday was a working day. Today is a working day. Fafora is still there. Fafora is still there. He's a member of State Assembly. We have been to him. Those who even arrested him and detained him told us that they have no crime against him, but that they are waiting for order from the IG to release him. It's a shame on all of us. It's a shame on all of us.
With the People's Democratic Party set to approach the tribunal challenging his victory, Aregbesola has this warning for staff of the Independent National Electoral Commission on tampering with materials used for the election in their custody.
It will not only be criminal, it will be inimical to the interests of INEC, because you conducted the election. It should be in your interest to ensure that nothing is done to falsify all the evidence in their custody. No, that should you even escape with it, your conscience will not allow you to go freely, and God, in His omniscience, will punish you ultimately.
The election may have come and gone, but it will continue to generate issues for some time to come. Rashid, CoreTV News, Oshogbo.
Two former allies of the leadership of the All Progressives Congress have heaped praises on President Goodluck Jonathan over the peaceful conduct of last Saturday's election in Osun State. Tunde Bakare and Yinka Odumaki are convinced that the decision to deploy soldiers was a masterstroke that prevented bloodshed. They also commended the two leading political parties and insisted no single party could claim dominance in the southwest. The report.
This is one of the pictures that went viral before last Saturday's elections. And although APC won the election by a wide margin, its leaders have not stopped condemning President Jonathan for authorizing troops deployment. There are, however, others who believe that the president deserves commendation for sending in soldiers. Yinka Odumaki and Tunde Bakare are in this category.
I think the president party lost the governorship in Osun, but I think the president won in this election, because the whole idea was they blackmailed me before this election that he deployed those soldiers to go and rig elections. Now his party did not win. This has shown that he has deployed those troops to maintain peace, law and order, and to ensure that there was no bloodshed and that no life was lost. So I think that we must give it to the president.
There are so many sides to Osun State. Number one, whether you like the president or you don't like him, the truth is he has allowed democracy to play out. Because those who are talking of the military presence, it will appear to me now that the presence of the military or the armed forces and the police is to ensure that there was peace during the election while people were casting their votes. Now, if PDP had won that election, they would have said, oh, they used the same tactics in Ekiti.
APC may have won the election, but Odumakin believes that there is a deeper significance in the outcome. He says there's no longer a single dominant party in the Southwest.
In the last 3 years, the Southwest has had 3 governorship elections, and the victories have gone to 3 different political parties. In Ondo State it was Labour, in Ekiti was PDP, in Osun State now APC. So multi-party democracy is taking root in the Southwest, and it means that the electorate in the Southwest can no longer be taken for granted by any political party to say that we are the lords of Southwest. The game in Southwest is open for political ideas and platforms.
The two former allies of APC's national leader, Muhammadu Buhari, are happy that in spite of brickbats before the election, it went without any incidents.
When someone wins, he has won. When someone loses, he must lose gallantly. And I'm glad that Osun State did not become the boiling cauldron that people were expecting. And for Mr. President also writing to congratulate Aregbesola, apart from he didn't participate in the election, shows that he's graduating into a statesman. That's my opinion.
That an election that was a lot of brickbats, there were a lot of violence threatened, that the election went peacefully without a person being killed. The same thing in Ekiti State show clearly that he has done well and the security force must be commended.
They, however, wondered whether Nigeria can afford such heavy troop deployment nationwide for the 2015 elections.
Away from that, the number of Nigerians placed under observation in Enugu over possible Ebola virus infection is down to 6. This was after 15 out of the 21 people in quarantine were cleared. Health Minister Onyebuchi Chukwu disclosed this while giving a situation report at a news conference in Abuja. He also revealed that Nigeria's Ebola cases have increased to 11.
As of this morning, 169 persons are under surveillance in Lagos. The number is going down now because all the 169 now are secondary contacts. We have completed the 21 days maximum incubation period to observe primary contacts. So we have allowed those primary contacts who have not shown any sign of disease to be. And so all the 169 contacts presently in Lagos as at this morning under contact are all secondary contacts. In addition, we have 6 contacts in Enugu. As of yesterday, we were following on 21 of them. But after the very stringent and rigorous interview, we found out that 15 do not qualify as contacts because people who probably stayed far and waved at the subjects claimed they were contacts. So as of this morning, only 6 contacts. It shows you the amount of work being done every hour. Every hour. It's not a daily job, it's on the hour after hour. Changes can happen. So I repeat, surveillance in Enugu is on 6. Surveillance in Lagos, 169, all secondary contacts. The ones in Enugu are also secondary contacts. What we are saying, there's no more primary contact who is under surveillance.
After bilateral discussions with the Honorable Minister and his team, Dangote Foundation has funded the establishment of the Ebola Emergency Operations Center in Lagos. That is being done through a grant from the foundation of just a little over 150 million naira. The strategy that our chairman is deploying is a strategy to respond and to commend government for the effort and to show that all Nigerians are concerned. We're continuing to talk to the ministry about what additional support can be offered. And we also have been approached by several parties who are interested in partnering with government, and we will continue that discussion.
Meanwhile, President Goodluck Jonathan has launched automatic hand sanitizers to be stationed in strategic places for private and public use. He was assisted by a number of governors, including those from states already affected by the virus.
If you do.
So it's automatic. No contact.
Your love for going.
Well, still on Ebola, the federal government has cautioned transporters against conveying anyone that is sick without an authentic medical report. This, according to Health Minister Onyebuchi Chukwu, is meant to curb the spread of the Ebola virus. He also advised transporters to stop carrying corpses unless there is a clearance from health authorities to avoid community transmission. Pius Samuel reports.
This is the first time the minister is meeting with the road transport unions since the outbreak of the Ebola virus. The first index case came into Nigeria through the airport, but now the government is keen on stopping the virus from spreading by road. The first line of defense is through the road transport unions.
For you to carry any sick person, ask for doctor's medical report. And that medical report certainly should not be more than 1 week old. If you look at the date of the report, it's more than 1 week. Tell your members don't accept that report. Because we want to be sure. Not when we bring you with our other passengers, you go and cause problem for them. And even for the driver. We don't want that.
The health minister also reaffirmed the ban on movement of corpses from within or outside the country without clearance from relevant authorities.
Don't carry dead corpse unless you have a waiver. 3, help us talk to your members about what you had. We also get them to give you information, things, leaflets, and so on. We're also talking on radio everywhere. But we can give you more if what they give you today is not enough.
For now, the Ebola virus has no cure. But with this infrared-enabled thermometer, an Ebola victim could be identified. The unions assured government of support, but wants the health authorities to make Ebola detecting equipment available at bus parks. Pius Samuel, CoreTV News, Abuja.
Residents in Liberia are calling for hospitals to reopen as a struggle to deal with an Ebola epidemic. Many health workers have been struck down by the disease that some hospitals have been forced to close, affecting not only those suffering from Ebola, but others needing treatment for their ailments.
The government already prioritized the hospital because we can keep the hospital closed. Not every disease that comes to the hospital or patients that come to the hospital have to come down with the disease of Ebola. There are other related diseases that are non-Ebola. And these people should be privileged that have no right to be treated as a citizen. So we shouldn't keep the hospital closed because of this. So we need the central government to give all necessary support, especially to the hospitals, so that we can keep the doors open. Because we must provide safety for our staff, for ourselves, and those who are providing care for.
I just want to say this to our president, Madam Ellen Johnson Sirleaf. Please try to open our hospital so our people can start dying from Ebola, because I don't think this is Ebola. But our people are dying because the hospital will remain closed down. Anybody gets sick, even from malaria, you die, and they say that's Ebola. So I'm asking Madam Ellen Johnson Sirleaf to please open our hospital.
When we get sick, you know, we're doing the self-treatment because the closure of those government hospitals around, so we can go to the various pharmacies around or clinics to get medication, self-medications.
Really sad. The Economic and Financial Crimes Commission is set to prosecute a stockbroker for a 30 million naira scam. 54-year-old Bioye Eluole allegedly sold 300,000 units of shares belonging to one of his clients without authorization. The FCC said in a statement that the broker claimed that the shares were warehoused in his firm. But the Central Securities Clearing System, CSCS, confirmed to the client that they had been sold. The Commission said investigations showed that the broker indeed sold all the shares. It ordered that the suspect will be arraigned in court for stealing as well as fraudulent sale and conversion of shares. Dangote Foundation has donated 150 million naira to stop the spread of Ebola virus disease in Nigeria. The managing director of the foundation, Dr. Adiambo Odaga, said the fund is meant for the establishment of an emergency center in Lagos.
After bilateral discussions with the Honorable Minister and his team, Dangote Foundation has funded the establishment of the Ebola Emergency Operations Center in Lagos. That is being done through a grant from the foundation of just a little over 150 million naira. The strategy that our chairman is deploying is a strategy to respond and to commend government for the effort and to show that all Nigerians are concerned. We're continuing to talk to the ministry about what additional support can be offered. And we also have been approached by several parties who are interested in partnering with government, and we will continue that discussion.
You're watching CoreTV News at 7. We'll take this very short break. Stay with us.
This is Lagos. This is our city. You know that our city needs heroes. Yeah, yeah. Our future is in our hands. The spirit of Lagos. A city that is strong in value. A Lagos that is filled with heroes. With neighbors that care for each other. This is Lagos. This is our city. Our city needs heroes. Our future is in our hands. The spirit of Lagos.
I need you, you need me. Together, we're the spirits of Lagos.
Welcome you to From the Ivory Tower. And happenings around the country, varsity teachers get to air their views. Students are actually not left out. We bring you intellectual ins from the events happening around you. It is dedicated to educating the populace with a spice of entertainment.
From the Ivory Tower, Tuesdays, only on CoreTV News.
Welcome back. You're watching CoreTV News at 7. Missouri police fired tear gas and smoke bombs at protesters demonstrating over the killing of an unarmed black teen by an officer. Police officers in riot gear marched towards the protesters near a burned-out gas station where demonstrators have gathered in the town of Ferguson. Police also used sonic devices and that make a loud ear-splitting sound to try to disperse the crowd. Police separately arrested 2 journalists reporting on the unrest that has roiled Ferguson since aspiring college student Michael Brown in a police shooting. His death has triggered rioting and stirred comparisons with the February 2012 fatal shooting of unarmed teenager Trayvon Martins in Florida. And that's CoreTV News at 7. It was nice having you. Stay on. Thanks for watching. Join us again at 9:45 for primetime news. Good evening.